First quarter for the Browns. They lead it by a score of 20-7. Start this drive from their own 20-yard line. And with a nice lead block out in front, Ford picks up 5.
Well, let's take a look at our next gen stats powered by AWS. And Njoku has had a big first quarter if you're just tuning in. So many yards after the catch. Again, one of the best in the entire league this year at making these plays and being able to get off a tackle. You see 166, the yards after the catch over expected. That's third most by a tight end in a season since going back to 2018. So I don't think he's close to being done with Amari Cooper out, not playing tonight.
Yeah, so that 10 catches, 25 or more yards. Here's Ford. Escapes the tackle, picks up the first down, takes some jets with him, gets to the 35-yard line, got away from Solomon Thomas.
You almost feel like Stump Mitchell, the running back coach, and you know, his entire offensive staff had to really challenge this offensive line and these backs. Jerome Ford, look at this. I mean, they've had some moments when there's been some good blocks, but that was Jerome Ford making a great play, showing you some outstanding balance to be able to shake off that would-be tackler there and then get upfield for the first down. There's Stump Mitchell right there. Great back in his own right.
Pierre Strong is now the running back here. And that's Solomon Thomas, who was the man who missed the tackle on the last run. Officials get together and the call is against.
Infraction. Defense number 94. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
When that running game, you know, they're making a lot of yardage to the outside. Of course, on the inside, you talk about your guard, center, guard trio. You got Bitonio and Posick and Teller, and that's about as good as it gets in the NFL.
And I think with Jeff Albrecht, that's his biggest fear coming into tonight. Is, you know, with Quentin Jefferson down, Al Woods, they lost to an Achilles week 6. They just don't have depth in the interior.
1st and 5. Flacco rolls, throws, caught, and Njoku. There he goes again. He loses the ball at the 40-yard line. Scramble for it at the 40. The Jets think they have it. They do.
Yeah, C.J. Mosley knocked that ball out. I think he's tired of seeing 85 run all over the field. The leader from the Jets defense catches up to him and brings the hammer with him. Ball gets a little bit loose. Watch right there. I mean, that is C.J. Mosley just has had about enough of seeing 85 out in the open field. That is a great job of running to the football and a nice job by the Jets of eventually getting on top of that. I don't know, maybe Mosley got on top of it as well. Ball bounced around. He's chasing it. I think he eventually got it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. 57 gets it. Meanwhile, that was 19 more yards before the fumble, so 132 yards for Njoku in a quarter and less than 2 minutes. So the Jets get a break. Can they make it pay off? Hold to the outside. Taken down after a gain of a couple. Sione Takitaki making the stop there. The 2nd and 8.
When we talked at the break after their first drive, it was, we said in the open that for them to score, Garrett Wilson's going to have to win one-on-one and Breece Hall's going to have to make plays, and that's what we saw in that first drive. Since then, they've kind of lost that rhythm. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to find those one-on-one chances if they can get Wilson loose.
Short drop, quick throw, and there is Wilson, and the ball is coming out at the end, but no, they say incomplete. Never had it in the first place. So it'll be 3rd down and 8. You got Ronnie Hickman in there, been involved in a lot of stuff. A lot of guys coming up with grass in their face masks.
And there's that matchup again with Emerson, and even though he's covered, he's in pretty good position. You're talking about with Garrett Wilson, he's got great ability to elevate, incredible body control, and it has the ball skills to be able to make that catch normally, but that time Emerson just never gave up on the football. You could see it come out.
3rd down and 8. To the outside goes the pass, and he cannot get away. Garrett Wilson necktied there by Greg Newsome. 4th and 5.
I think you could make a strong argument that Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson as a trio might be the best on one team in the NFL. Newsome on the slot is really taken over. Has the length and the instincts. You know, he moved there last year permanently, and this year is starting to really become one of the top slot corners, I think, in the league.
Morstad's first punt was 57 yards. This is a line drive kick that goes out of bounds, and they will mark this one as the official comes up with the fact that he was throwing to Steve and his brother, but he's just keeping in shape. He says the gym has become a major part of his routine, so he was in shape when the call came. Looks right, looks left, looks right again, throws caught up at the 27-yard line goes Elijah Moore. Tackled there by Sauce Gardner, normally a guy they avoid, and a guy who has to keep his mind in the game because nobody throws his way.
Yeah, that's right. I think this is one of the great stories this year in Joe Flacco. You talk about a comeback story. He's hanging out with the kids, running his Uber, you know, running the kids around and doing whatever you do as a dad. And then he gets the call. He said he was anxious. He was waiting with all the injuries to quarterbacks. He thought he might get a call. And then he gets that call, and boy, is he taking advantage of it in this offense.
That pass is Moore again. Let's go to Kaylee.
Guys, Joe and his brother Tom, who's sitting up there in the stands right in front of their dad Steve, they were going out to this turf field a couple of miles from their home in New Jersey twice a week for an hour to toss the ball around. Steve was telling us, yeah, he would run 5 to 10 partial routes as his boys threw him the ball. He said when the ball's coming 60 yards at you with Joe Flacco's arm, yeah, it hurts. He had to start wearing gloves to catch him. His hands were getting torn up.
Yeah, still 3rd down and 3 now. Flacco throwing into traffic. They get a lucky break here. Moore makes the catch after Carter almost had the interception.
Well, Al Carter put himself in position. And Jeff Albrecht, one of the things he told us this week is we know Joe Flacco, because he's around this last year, he's going to put it in coverage. He trusts his arm, trusts his receivers. That's one that they've got to make the play on, right? I mean, that's right in the hands. He played it perfectly. Couldn't be any other better position in man coverage. He's unable to finish on the play and give more credit for working back to the football to make that catch.
Going to Moore 3 times in a row. Pierre Strong is the back now from the 48. Great play fake. Open. Caught to the 20-yard line goes Jordan Akins, the number 8. Thinks he wasn't tackled, so he'll go to the end zone. And the officials will mark the ball at the 20-yard line. So Akins, the number 3 tight end. So Njoku having a fantastic night. Now Akins gets into the action. They're killing him with the tight ends.
Yeah, you called it. What a great play fake there. And again, we always brag about Flacco and how good he is with play action. This is in 13 personnel, meaning 1 running back, 3 tight ends. That's a run formation. Great early down play action to sneak the 3rd tight end, Akins, out to get that defense with their eyes in the backfield, expecting Ford to run the ball.
Strong breaks a couple of tackles. You know, it's not the exact parallel, but when you think of Flacco, and let's say, you know, the dream comes true and somehow, some way they get to Las Vegas in February. Again, it's not the exact parallel, but, you know, you think back to when Carson Wentz got hurt in 17 and Nick Foles took over. Yep. And the next thing you know, of course, Foles had a postseason of all time as Flacco did in 2012 when he was with Baltimore, but a little bit of the same.
Yeah, you know, we've got a lot of work to do, but it's fun to start to dream about that and think about that.
Right. We're filling time. We're going to take 2nd down and 6.
We got a lot of time.
Pass is caught, and fighting his way to the 1st down mark is Harrison Bryant. So the tight ends, and that's Bryant making his first catch of the night. And Njoku scored 5 for 132. We just saw Akins. And they're going to mark it a little shy, 3rd and inches.
I'm just so impressed with the versatility of what this offense can do. You get Amari Cooper has the big game last week. They couldn't run the football, so what do they do with him down? They're running the football. They're getting their tight ends involved. Elijah Moore's getting more involved. So great job of adapting by Kevin Stefanski and his staff.
Here's your 13 personnel again. Who needs the tush push? Flacco still has enough in those legs to do it by himself. 1st and goal.
Yeah, he's a large man at 6'6", 240 pounds. And I think the mobility is the thing that a lot of people have probably taken back on how good he's looked. You mentioned how he has a personal trainer. It's just part of his lifestyle. He's always working out. He's not a guy that has to get into shape. He just stays in shape. So, but I still just adjusting to new players, new teammates, new scheme, and just to be in command the way he is impressive.
First and goal, rolling and throwing, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Elijah Moore. So Flacco is now 12 out of 17. He's thrown for 300 or more yards in the last 3 games, and tonight well on that pace at 211.
Yeah, you can just tell that he continues to settle in and get more and more comfortable. I thought last week against Houston was, in his 4 games, the first time that it just seemed like, okay, the light has flipped. The switch has flipped for him, and he is making some plays and feeling good with the reads. It looks like Nick Harris is in that backfield again, lined up there as a fullback, offset to the left.
Second and goal. On the ground, probing, nothing. Jerome Ford stopped there by Jermaine Johnson. So the Browns tonight, Kirk, they're doing this against a defense that right now would be 3rd in the league, allowing 295 yards per game. And the Browns tonight have already run up 271 yards.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, is frustrating as this year has been, obviously, for the Jets and their fans. The defense is the thing that makes you get excited about what they can become next year when Aaron Rodgers gets healthy and they build some pieces, add some pieces around him.
Flacco on 3rd and goal, throwing, caught. Elijah Moore for the score. So Moore becomes the main man on the X-Jet, catching a touchdown pass from the X-Jet.
And here he is matched up one-on-one. He's got the cushion. Watch Flacco work to the left and just kind of falls off of that throw. Gets it out early enough to give Moore enough room to be able to work towards that left boundary. Great job of setting up Reed, who's very twitchy, very athletic corner, but the route that time by Moore and a great throw on time by Flacco. Nothing he could do to defend that.
Patterson, extra point is good. So against one of the best defenses in the back in Cleveland, down there at the dog pound behind the end zone. I always thought that should be section K9.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's weak. But
yeah. Maybe was it in the old stadium?
It should have been.
It should have been. This dog pound, this city. You could feel it the last 2 days just being in town. There is a buzz in the air about this Browns team. And especially with Joe Flacco taking over and what they've seen in these last few weeks, winning 3 in a row, coming in tonight. You know, Cam Cameron helps us out. He worked, obviously, as an offensive coordinator when he was in Baltimore, and they took him out to work with Tom House. And Tom House works with thousands of quarterbacks. He said he's the most efficient with his mechanics other than Nolan Ryan. Tom House works with pitchers, he works with quarterbacks, works with everybody. And he works with Joe Flacco, and he looked at Cam and he said, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this guy's as good as I've seen.
Meanwhile, Simeon gets sacked back at the 18-yard line.
You know who?
Well, Garrett is right there. So he hadn't had a sack in 5 games, and here he comes.
And when you leave him one-on-one, this is what's going to happen. He's right in front of you. Watch this move to the outside. Little stutter step. I mean, this guy is as big as you can think he is. He's 6'4", 275 pounds, and moves like he's 240 pounds. Just a mismatch, and you know how excited he is to finally get another sack.
Not going to keep him down forever.
Nope.
2nd and 17. Deflected. And fortunately, it falls incomplete. Newsom that time put the pressure on. Got a hand on it. 3rd and 17.
And Simeon is starting to feel the pressure from this Browns team with this big lead. They're just coming after him. They know that he's in They are in a mode to get the ball out. Watch him this time. He keeps working him out. Now he goes back inside, and that blitz right there from Newsom allows him to get his hands. Here he comes late, disguises it. You think Jim Schwartz right now is dialing a few things up, the defensive coordinator for the Browns?
Somebody pounding on that trash can. I think the Astros must be in town. I'm sorry. Yeah, go rip me. Out to the 34-yard line. Xavier Gibson takes it there short of the first down.
Simeon right now is catching the snap and getting the ball out. And it's a good decision to get it to Gibson, but going to come up short. Since that opening drive where they scored a touchdown, I mean, they had an interception and they have gone 3 and out, 3 and out, and 3 and out.
And in danger now, falling even farther behind the way things are going for that Cleveland offense. Here's Morstead. Included with Prime, your happy place is Prime Video. On the shores of Lake Erie, Cleveland, Ohio. A little cloud cover tonight, but dry. Flacco going to work here. Flacco throwing, has an open man at the 18-yard line. And about a 7 or 8 yard pickup there by Harrison Bryant. C.J. Mosley makes the tackle, second down and a yard.
Yeah, just one more thought on Kevin Stefanski, his ability to adjust to his quarterback. You know, you had Deshaun Watson, they were more spread out, more empty, more trying to create space, use his legs, use his arm. And then you had other quarterbacks like P.J. Walker, he had to adjust to that, DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And now Joe Flacco, more under center, more run the football, more play action.
To the outside, Hunt. And he picks up a first down, tackled there by Mosley and Williams. So that right now puts Cleveland at 289 total yards.
Yeah, and I just think when you look at NFL offensive coordinators and schemes, I think at any level, that's the mark of a great offensive mind, is the ability to adjust on the fly to the personnel that you have to work with. And it could change week to week. It could change tonight. I mean, you just have to be ready to adjust to what you have to work with and put your guys in the best position to succeed. And he's done that as well as any coach, in my opinion, with all these injuries, as anybody.
He's right up there in the conversation for Coach of the Year. The job he's done. Meanwhile, you got a necktie tackle there, like Quentin Williams getting his arms around the ball carrier, Hunt, and a flag.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 95. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that is Quentin Williams. Big in his bro. Playing on the defense, you have pretty clear right there. Turned his head around, cost him 15. So that moves the ball out to midfield right at the 50-yard line. So the Jets have given up about as many yards tonight in the first half as I mentioned before. They've given up per game this season. This is going to kill their defensive rankings. From the 50 to the outside goes Ford. We were kidding with Salah last night. We said, you know what, you're out of the playoff hunt. What are you going to do? You know, obviously everybody's talking about playing for pride and their jobs next year, blah, 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 blah. And I say, hey, one thing you can talk to about the team is that defense. You guys turn in a stellar performance tonight. Maybe you jump over the Browns in some of those categories.
Not after this. Not after Joe Flacco and this offense putting up these numbers. And I don't think anybody really expected, especially with Amari Cooper down. I think we all expected maybe, you never know in the NFL, right? You know, like you'd think the Jets would be in trouble offensively against this Browns defense, but maybe a low-scoring game. Browns offense continue to shine.
Off play action, a little flip there, and then it's picked off. That's Jermaine Johnson is going to take it all the way to the end zone. So in dire need of something great to happen, the Jets get just that. Just before the 2-minute warning, as Johnson, the second-year guy out of Florida State, one of the first-round picks last year, takes it to the end zone.
Watch him elevate, come down, and then get back up and knock that ball into the air. What an athletic play by Jermaine Johnson at 6'5", 265 pounds, and then the speed to run away from Njoku. So just when we start celebrating what the Browns are and what they're doing to this defense, Jermaine Johnson with an answer to get them really back into this game.
Yeah. First interception of his career, first touchdown of his career, 37